Well, the Christmas-tide Stakes Day yesterday officially brought on the holiday season. So Dave, Rodman, and I are here to close things out before you go on your merry way on to your families throughout the holiday week.
Yeah, and when we come back, 3 more days of racing
Yes.
here at Laurel Park till a little break till January 17th with the new Maryland Jockey Club. But in the meantime, there's plenty of simulcast action, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
To keep you occupied. So we're on today's program. A little chilly out there today, but the winds have died down a little bit, so that's the good news. Temperature
Thank
in the
goodness.
mid-20s, light winds out of the north this afternoon. A fast track here in sunny skies at Laurel Park.
Absolutely. So the track is looking pretty good right now. Overall, the track, I thought yesterday, Dave, played pretty fair. It seemed like it had a lean towards the front end horses early on, but then with some of these stakes horses coming off of the pace, I would say track played pretty fair. Anything you noticed?
I agree as well. I mean, I thought it was pretty fair. It listed as fast the day before it was muddy, and so it didn't have a whole lot of chance to get some sunshine yesterday, but it was in great shape. I thought maybe a little deeper time-wise, but very safe and some good results. We'll show you later on in our stakes recap.
Yeah, absolutely. As we kick on forward into this first leg of the early pick 5, 12% takeout starts in a claiming 12-5 for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 2. Going a second wire finish here in our one-turn mile distance. For these girls, as I mentioned, you and I first to arrive. We both land on for Rudy Sanchez Salaman, Ismirio Villalobos. They team up for a couple today, so they might try and just start the day off in the right direction.
The heaters meet up again. It's first to arrive and audibly nothing between them. And breaking the maidens in a dead heat November 28th over a track rated muddy. I'm going to give a little edge today to number 2 first to arrive, your top pick as well, who was in the dead heat with audibly, mainly based on the race 4 back at Timonium. Ran about a 9, a nice filly there in Red Hot Hannah. Out of that race. So I'm going to give just a slight lean edge there in what appears to be a little bit of an open race. A little price play for you in this race. Number 3, My Sugar Boo, Sprinter Route for trainer Tim Keefe. And the blinkers come off Sprinter Route. Positive return on investment and 13% for Tim Keefe there. Just a little minor stat for you. Coming off a time away since October. Draw a line through the last couple of races with blinkers. This horse has been retooled, taking the blinkers off today, and she's got a couple of races on her form back in January and February without the blinkers.
Exactly.
That look good to me, numbers-wise as well.
Yeah, so 2, 3, 4, 8. You also include Tahitian Tyrant and the number 8 audibly. Michael Trombetta, Michael Sanchez, first time against winners on the outside.
Yeah, audibly in that dead heat last time out with first to arrive. I thought perhaps really appreciated the wet going that day. Number 4, Tahitian Tyrant. If things go crazy up front, she's got enough speed to tactically close in the spot and pick up a share in the spot. She's been second 3 times. And third twice out of 10 career starts. So kind of an exacta type horse in there. And if they do anything outrageous on the pace today, Tahitian Tyrant come pick them up.
There we go. Let's go ahead to race number 2 that starts the first leg of the early pick 4 in a maiden claiming 45. Also for that one-turn second wire distance here at a mile for these 2-year-olds, you land on the number 3 and you also land on the number 5 in your exacta, Edelweiss. Let's go ahead and look at Daddy Yankee and Edelweiss in that effort back on the 9th of November.
Yeah, they meet again. They're going back 2 back on your form, finishing third behind Bjorn Crab Daddy. Winner of that, as the runner-up of that race, came back to win as a maiden in Pennsylvania. A little stake there at a good price. And this gelding here, Daddy Yankee, is very close to the pace here in this sprint. Running about 5th, about mid-flight, within 5 of the lead. Edelweiss is farther back, way farther back there, and closing the gap. At the line, Daddy Yankee beaten 2 lengths by Bjorn, and Edelweiss only 3 lengths as we pick it up in upper stretch. Here's Daddy Yankee there in the designated hitters gold cap, chugging in between horses, kind of looking over a little bit to the grandstand. Edelweiss chugs along and picks up 2 very late. And not beaten far. So, boom, 3rd, 4th down to the line together, Daddy Yankee and Edelweiss. Now, the difference today is Daddy Yankee has blinkers off, taken the blinkers off, after a race in which he dueled on December 1st, going a route of ground. Maybe was on a little bit worse part of the track that day, shortening up to a sprint. I got to go back to his races behind Bjorn there, where he showed you, and 3 back. He ran against All the Hard Ways, a horse that's on the upswing right now, the Jerry Robb barn as well. So blinkers off, little change in the distance today, shortening to the mile after the 2-turn mile in the 16th race, getting into a duel on the inside. Maybe not the best part or place to be that day. Edelweiss comes back his first time gelding, Callie, for Lacey Gaudet. Past 5 years, on the Equibase Stats, Raceland Stats, a positive return on ROI for trainer Lacey Gaudet first gelding. 5 for 35 first gelding for Lacey, with including a 20-1, a 16-1, a 15-1. So the trick works.
Okay,
right?
Definitely. I'm going to be stealing that stat from you a little bit later on, as you also include the number 7 Hacksaw Ridge, a first-time starter for Brittany Russell that's been working up at Fair Hill with Sheldon, and then Percy for Phil Capuano with the blinkers on as well. Bit of a trend in this field. Wes Hamilton rides.
Yeah, very interesting horse. Sold as $175,000 as a yearling. Then RN8 is a 2-year-old in training. Went 10-3 at Timonium in a work there. But look at those works at Fairhill. Doesn't look like a horse that goes 10-3 right in the morning. Kind of slow works. Interesting that they start him in a mile. Didn't know what to do with him here. BTR Racing bought into him along with Golden Lion Racing in this spot. Now maybe he's something. We'll see. But I'm going to have to go back to a horse I did make best bet last time out. Daddy Yankee. One more time.
3-5-7-6 for Dave Rodman in race number 2. Race number 3 is a claiming 12-5 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3, going in 2 turns here, a mile and 16th on the dirt. Scratching the 7, Rudy. You go with the number 3, What a Hard Man, Fided, Daniel McKenzie, Xavier Perez now rides.
Yes, and I think maybe this could be a little bit of a difference. More experienced rider on What a Hard Man Fided of this afternoon for the X-Man and trainer Daniel McKenzie. This horse is knocking at the door. He needs some pace help up front. Might get it today. Might get it from a little long shot in there, Army Cadet, who I think will try to make that lead from post number 2. In spite of trainer, comes off a 231-day layoff, which is a major concern to me. What a Hard Man Fidel keeps on trying, keeps on knocking at the door, just needs that trip, needs the pace, needs the right kind of ride to win. I think today at a price is very, very enticing in here. I'm going to use him. He's got to be, I think, 1-2 in this spot. Agara Me Se Puedes, a mouthful to say there, was behind Mr. Jefferson last time out. 2 horses in the race today, Admit Nothing and What a Hard Man Fidel beat him last time out. He was hard hustled from the 10 post that day. Normally a horse who has very little, actually no early speed, but he can give it if the rider wants. So Agara Me Se Puedes, I think he'll try to hustle up there and get close again today. Admit Nothing tried to take them all the way last time out, but failed behind Mr. Jefferson, who tripped out with an inside-outside tip to victory there. I like What a Hard Man Fidel today. What a Hard Man Fidel, Agara Me Se Puedes. Let's hope they're not right there in the line together.
I'm looking forward to you calling that race there in race number 3. As we head on over, Dave Rodman, 3-5-6-1 to the race next. But before we get there, wow, it's Sunday, excuse me. Let's go to the Rainbow Pick 6, of course. I'm just going to lay down my ticket. I give you 2 singles in this just because I've got to go 3-4 wide in some of these races otherwise. So I start things off with Clubman. We'll have a video spotlight on that horse in one moment. And in race number 5, 2, 3, 7, the 2, Delice Vita for Phil Capuano being my top selection there. Race number 6 is our Jackpot Super High 5 race as well, so you have to go 4 deep on that. Also starts the late pick 4 as well. Race number 7, I single on Pistol Liz Blazin', Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez. What's not to like there is your 3-5 favorite. Just a bit of an easy grab. And in race number 8, luckily the coupled entry came out, but I was getting a little bit of bang for my buck there on the ticket. But 1A, 2, 5, 7, the 5 most perfect being my top selection for Cal Lynch there. And in race number 9, head scratcher, 3 deep. I go with the one on the inside, Burroughs K for Madison Myers, $28.80 as it does begin here in the starter optional 12.5, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Dave, you have the inside as well as I do. Let's roll back to that effort going 7 furlongs on Maryland Million Day.
He's 10. He's won 19 races. His name is Clubman. You know him. You've seen him win many, many times before. He had a good, great trip in this win, 2 back in the Maryland Million Starter Handicap October 12th. They went 22 at 245, took advantage of a superheated pace, but with his back class, he pulls off the victory here on the outside in the blue silks to dig down. Now, he's going a mile and a 16th, Callie. I did pick him on top, but I'm a little concerned he may not have the kind of pace, but he does have all kinds of class. He's won at just about every distance you can think of. This is a swan song here in Maryland, end of the year as a 10-year-old, final start as a 10-year-old. So he's worth, he's worth the, I guess, favorites role in this spot, you would think, right? Having won 19 races. But what about the 5, Impitude? I think is a big chance in here. Jockey Angel Morales making the most of limited chances in the afternoon. And he did the trick on this horse last time out for Claudio. I think Claudio has 2 in here, right? Rumjar, who in the past has shown some early speed. He was hard hustled out of the gate last time out at Laurel behind Brother Brad and Hornbeam. I think maybe they'll try to get him to heat up the pace a little bit up front. Impitude maybe getting that same kind of trip he did last out. I thought his last 2 races were very good. He was wide the entire trip, 5 wide, 6 wide down the backstretch. And 2-path and then shifted out to the 5-path was wide and took that wide round the world journey there. So a lot of ground loss there for Impitude. I think the number a little bit better than looks on paper. Maybe he's the kind of horse that likes to run out there. Whatever, the jockey, the horse get along. So I think maybe worth a second look for a back-to-back score.
1-5-7-3 in race number 4 for Dave Rodman there as we go ahead to race number 5. That starts the late pick 5, of course, as I mentioned, with the early pick 5 low industry percent takeout. Dave, you got a ticket for us. Let's see how you play it.
I got a ticket, and if Delitza Vita wins, I'm out. Kind of like yesterday, right? Out the first leg, but there were a lot of swings and misses yesterday, I think.
That was an overall theme yesterday, especially early on. Let's not let's not bear on bad wounds.
Yeah, so if you want to use the Delitza Vita, the big class drop, go right ahead. But I think the 6, 7, and 12 have big chances here. Sunset Town we'll talk about a bit. Monster Mason, and on the outside, a horse coming back into the Corrales barn, Captain Cardo. In the 6th race, going 3 deep there with General Maximus, Imperial Spy, with a little more experienced rider, and blow by him. A horse I know that Keith Fustel likes. He told me like 72 hours ago he likes this horse, so I got to use him in there. The old blinkers on, right? If I don't, and he wins, then he's going to, I told you. 7th race, going to single Pistol Liz ablazing. We'll have some video of that handy score later. In the 8th race, going with the remaining part of the entry there from Jamie Ness, who wired him last time out. Make it a little more pacey today, though. Uncaptured Storm, kind of an in-and-out horse when you least expected he might get the trip. And Search Engine as well from with Sheldon Russell aboard. And in the 9th race, going a little deeper in there using Burroughs Key, Turf to Dirt, the 4, Reggie Scotch and Soda with a little freshening. And then I Feel Bad for You, Son. To round out that pick 5.
There we go. Love that. $40.50 for Dave Rodman's late pick 5 ticket as we go ahead to the beginning in that first leg here in a claiming 7,500 condition race, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 4 and the 5. Dave, you go with the number 6, Sunset Town, in the barn of Mikey Gorham, Raul Mena, blinkers on. Combination for success along with this Dave Rodman stat.
Yeah, there you go. The stat put me over the top. Michael Gorham, past 3 years, adding the blinkers, 5 for 20, 25%. Big return on investment, $3.87. Horse was claimed out of the Nest barn, hasn't hit the winner's circle since, but he's done the trick with old claimers like this, adding the blinkers, finding the winner's circle. Wasn't beaten that far behind Monster Mason, one of the rivals he'll face today, breaking just to his outside. I'm using that horse as well in the mix. Monster Mason, good race, 3rd, 4 lengths behind Rad Paisley, 3 back. That was on the muddy going for Brandon McFarland. Hard-knocking horse, finished 2nd 6 times, 3rd 5 times. Winless at Laurel, maybe today's the day. And on the outside, back to Corrales. This horse ran his best races at Corrales barn back earlier this year in the winter. He's kind of switched around a little bit. It's been a long road back to the Corrales barn. He's been about 3 different barns since then. But this guy is capable of running winning numbers in the Corrales barn. He's done it before. We'll see. Could be a big turnaround from the last couple of races you've seen. If the pace is heated up front, and I think they're gonna, they're gonna be a lively pace up there. Captain Cardo comes rolling, and a cardiac finish.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he won't get beat in the last jump.
5 different barns in the past, ever since March of this year, to Captain Cardo there. 6, 12, 7, 3. As we go ahead to race number 6. Actually, sorry guys, this is Sunday. We will be right back after this commercial break before we get back to the rest of Sunday's card. And now we're back here to race number 6.
Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Because I'm not. I was in the Abita.
Oh my
I
gosh,
was in the Abita Christmas sale last night. Okay.
No, I just got a really funny text, to be honest,
right.
that popped up on my screen. But we are back to the Jackpot Super High 5 now. And, of course, that hit. We get a new pool today. Also starts the late pick 4, begins in this maiden claiming 20,000, going 3/4 of a mile in the dirt for the 2-year-old, scratching the 10. We are going to talk about, and we're going to look at General Maximus, the number 3 for Annette Eubanks, Carlos Lopez. Let's go ahead. Yeah, just missed last time out.
Yeah, there you go. Out of the gate in the yellow cap circle there. Good sharp break there. No real bothers. Oh, watch this. He kind of drifts into the rail a little bit there, that temporary rail, and then was straightened out. This was his first start as a gelding, so remember, okay, so there's a little bit of a difference. Look at his numbers come back to the 40 range as he did back in his debut behind Little Sebastian. A horse has got a lot of talent. We saw ran the other day just behind tip of my tongue, the Rob horse that we talked about earlier.
All the hard ways.
Yeah, all the hard ways.
Yep.
So there's General Maximus battling along. Good effort, I thought. The horse to beat there in the 6th race. That was the first time gelding there in this run to finish second, beating a length of 3/4 behind Set for Life with a grinding win on the outside.
Yeah.
You pick them on top as well, right?
Yeah, I do.
I said, the second gelding, why not?
Why not?
5 Imperial Spy goes to Villalobos today. Jockey who's made a little bit of an impact here in Maryland with some limited mounts. Interesting, he's won 5 races of the meet. 4 of the 5 of his wins have been on maiden claimers.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great. The horses I do notice that he gets a lot of run out of horses, especially with prices. Whether if he's not winning and he's hitting the board, that is what I've noticed about him. The horses just tend to run for him here. So I think with Imperial Spy coming back to that distance, that's going to be obviously the biggest benefactor here today. Especially when you cut for an individual like that runs like that at that distance. Yeah, I think the cut back here is a bit of a no-brainer.
He actually has a little better buyer number, and I come up with a better number for him as well from that November 3 race. So, but I did go with General Maximus with the assumption that he'll have a little bit more early lick pace-wise in here. Linda Albert looking forward to Christmas money here with the Imperial Spy. Here's a horse that Keith likes, Blow By. I'm adding the blinkers. For trainer Kieran McGee.
Yeah. So the thing is that Kieran had a similar situation to Kieran in the last race yesterday, where Kieran had a first-time starter who didn't, produce that great of results, and then threw the blinkers on, and then ended up winning by at least 4?
Yeah, I won about 4, right?
About
all
4
the
lengths.
way.
Yep. So I missed this. I would absolutely include this horse on your ticket, knowing kind of getting the information. That's something Kieran McGee has been stepping it up for the second-time starters, so absolutely deserves some respect in here.
He's in there. I'm just relying on a single in a coming race.
Sure, why
Blinkers
not?
on Kieran Lugeman. You can see right there the positive stat there. First time blinkers in form from a limited amount. I guess maybe the only thing that might talk you off of him. I mean, Bernie the Star, he was my best bet yesterday. He showed his speed. He didn't win.
No.
But he didn't run bad.
No.
So blow by him. Tori Alba aboard with the addition of blinkers today. Could be the wake-up call at, if you get 9-2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we have it.
All right.
3-5-8-2 for Dave Rodman there in race number 6. Let's go ahead. Anything you wanted to add on the 2?
No, I was just looking at the 2. The first time for the Hugh McMahon barn. That race has produced a winner. Sir Chance-a-Lot's December 1st finish, just beaten behind Up in Flames. Enabler came out of that race to win, break maiden just the other day. Okay.
Absolutely. Now on to race number 7 here in the starter optional 12-5, going 3/4 mile and 16th on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. You and I both have Pistol Liz ablazing here on the inside for Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez. Let's take a look at her winning ways back last time out on the 6th of December.
Yeah, Pistol Liz ablazing. Makes the lead to the top of the lane with a nice move. Sat just off the pace. Opens up. Asks for some run. Rodriguez peeks back, and then you see on your short comment there, 3 wide on the turns, handily, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this.
No problem.
Back in the nest barn, right?
Standing right up.
This mare seems to thrive in the nest barn, so hopefully she can repeat that race, and I think she can in a spot. Now, you want to try to beat her. A little bit of a long shot play here, value play, and Freccia d'Argento. They were a little too quick for her in that first race back since May with Brezina and that kind of filly mare in that race back December 6th. First starts on May 31st off 189 days and finished 7th there. But you go back, I mean, Collie, she was second behind Charming Ways back in February. And that mare came back next start to win the Nellie Moore Stakes and a good score and a nice number I thought she got out of that race at Charming Way, and a good number too from Freccia d'Argento. So any kind of bounce factor for Pistol Liz Blazin', I don't know. I'm going to single her in the pick 6, or excuse me, pick 5, and I think she'll be in a lot of people's singles there
as well.
or on top at key.
Yeah, she was a single of mine as well. 1-7-5-6. We both include the 5. Carol Girl. On the outside, another Mikey Gorham Relmena going for a price here, 8-1 morning line.
If Freccia d'Argento doesn't show any kind of early speed, I mean, she's been on the lead before. Didn't last time out, but again, outrun by the 22-146 and change fraction. Could Carol Girl wind up on the lead? She likes Laurel. She's won 8 races. 2 of them have been here. Wired a group back in April over this track. Through modest fractions there at 24-449. There's Michael Gorham when you least expect it with Raul Mena aboard, and she's 8-1 on the line.
And there we go. 1-7-5-6 from the man Dave Rodman there in race number 7. Race number 8, our feature is a starter optional 30,000, going a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the part of the coupled entry in the 1, Time to Cruise. You have the number 6 on top, Search Engine in the barn of Brittany Russell and Sheldon Russell. Taking a look last time out.
Even money last out on the mud. Let's watch the start on the inside. Lunged at the break. Up against it, there it is again, right there. A couple of the front hooves a little off the muddy going there. Had to gather herself. The pace was not super quick, but they went okay, and then overcame the muddy going, angling off the inside and getting up to win. I thought, though won by a nose, probably could have won by more with a clean start. 6-time winner, 3 of those wins over this track here at Laurel. So likes Laurel, in for the 30,000 today. Let's go with Search Engine. Just an ever so slight edge there. 1A, Afraid of the Bunny, blasted him with early speed. A little concern, perhaps, that Boss Logic might make a go of it up front and try to soften that one up a little bit. And maybe that Search Engine can kind of sit a trip today with a better break. It's kind of what in the dream scenario of the race, what I see. And then Uncaptured Storm is the kind of a gelding that'll surprise you at times. Reeled off 3 in a row, couple at Laurel and over at Pimlico back in the spring. Seems to have shown a bit of life coming back the last 3 starts. Third, and I thought a very good trip last time out December 6th. Almost got there. Willing. I like that comment. And one day, especially breaking down to the inside, has the one hole today, right? From post 7 last time out. One hole going a mile, and probably try to save some ground. And maybe could get a trip of trips today to pull the mild upset. So 6-1-8-2-7.
I go with the 5 on top. Most perfect for Kieran McGee there in the feature as we go ahead to the finale here in this maiden claiming 12-5 for the maidens 3, 4, and 5. Going a mile and 16th on the dirt. No scratches here. The number 4, Reggie Scotch and Soda for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Esmirio Villalobos here at 8-1 for your top selection, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like this horse today. I'm going to make this horse value play, I believe it is, on the card, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, Rudy Salomon. It's going back to the beginning of the career. Stalked the pace, chased and prompted while 3 wide, showing some mild promise against lower level maiden 15s. Then second time out, trouble trip at Timonium at 4 furlongs, forced out at the start. They're just too quick for this horse early.
Couldn't catch a break.
A half mile, right? Couldn't catch a break.
Yeah.
And once you have that bad start going a half mile at Timonium, forget about it.
Yep.
And then at Timonium ran back real quick following weekend, no success. Then tried the turf, but that's the interesting race to me, Callie, because this horse Chase showed speed out of the gate, was actually trying to gun for the lead, and then was rated back off the leader and then stopped. But freshened since then for a barn that can freshen him up and get him ready in here. There's not a lot to beat. I'm hoping Reggie Scotch and Soda is fresh and ready to go today. Burroughs Key, what do you make of that horse? That's your top pick, right?
Yeah.
This horse has a little bit of a reputation in the post parade. Once I remember ran off and was running around the track like a cutting horse. So that's
what race was that?
my concern.
What race was that?
I forget. I just made the note. I forgot.
If it was at Pimlico, then it seems that seems to have worked because you go back to that Pimlico effort. And I remember I remember chatting. I think Madison did have a horse that did not acclimate to the Pimlico paddock very well because that's a very claustrophobic paddock. And if I'm not going to say whether this is the horse or not, but I will say that she gave this horse some time just to kind of recoup, resettle. Madison Myers being 4 for 20, first off of the layoff as of late. I have a feeling that they're just going to be taking a bit of a completely different approach here, despite the fact that they did work this one on the turf back in December, which for me, it kind of raised my eyebrows in the sense where I just thought it was very curious that they could find a turf in December here in the Mid-Atlantic. But overall, in the money, we're talking 11 for 20 first after the layoff. I'm just throwing in a little bit of a trust. The fact that you go 2 back and they tried to take that speed factor and they made it happen well enough. Now that they draw the inside, they'll just try to go for inside speed going 2 turns here.
I can't remember when it was. I made the note. I should have put down the date.
Well, I remember she felt really bad about it happening, and I tell her these things happen all the time. Horses just react to Pimlico sometimes.
Right. So maybe we'll look at them in the post race, but it'll be too late for your pick 5 play, right? But
yes,
turf to dirt. I mean, Madison Myers 5 for 33, 15% with a positive ROI too. So I don't mind the turf to dirt move.
Just took a stab. Just completely took a stab. I don't have any other than the way that I've seen this horse kind of move. That kind of tracks a little bit as well. I'm kind of just putting a little bit of faith in Madison. I do personally, just looking at the horse, I like the inside spot for him. I think he's going to settle into it really nicely.
I feel bad for you, son. I felt bad for him in the mud last time out. Just didn't like it behind Return Fire, but his race 2 back, he was on the pace, 23-4, 47-1. That was a good pace for that level, and just kind of faltered. And today, going a mile in the 16th, sharp break. I think he's going to try to gun for it and try to take them all the way here.
Right.
But Reggie Scotch and Soda, maybe I'm reading too much into the layoff and excuses, but I think he's a fresh horse and I'm going to go with it and roll with it, especially. And I think he'll be a solid price in the finale.
Perfect. We have just gone through all of our races here for Sunday's card. Let's dig into that lightning round here. Let's go back and rewind to your best bet here in race number 3, 6-1 on the number 3. What a Hard Man Fided, Daniel McKenzie, and Xavier Perez now on.
A horse who needs a little bit of pace help up front, but goes to the X-Man today. Just there, always runs his race, and I think going to get a good trip again down to the inside today. I think he'll be 1-2 in this spot, and hopefully he can get there, and maybe you'll get close to 6 on him.
And if you just missed it about 3 minutes ago, your value play is in the last race here at 8-1 on the number 4, Reggie Scotch and Soda, Rudy Sanchez, Solomon Desmirio, Villalobos.
Yeah, I like that debut run, and then you can toss a line through the Timonium race, and I really like that turf race where he showed speed. He was going to go to the front, and then they kind of rated him back a little bit. Then now, time away, Rudy coming back with a fresh horse here, and Reggie Scotch and Soda in the finale.
And now let's go over and rewind further back. Let's talk about our stakes and take a look at them. Starting off in, of course, with Celtic Contender, just dominating there in the Howard and Sandra Bender Memorial.
Yeah, after that scorching duel last time out, the question was, could he repeat that race? A good sharp break by Carrasco. He had to work on him down the lane, but pulled away. Victor Carrasco, Celtic Contender for Ham Smith, byring up with an 88 number there.
There we go. Perfect. And Spencerian gets stakes action in the Politely for Hugh McMahon. Victor Carrasco with his second stakes win of the day.
Yeah, always had speed and well placed in the race. Chased the speed with a good clean trip. Opening on the inside. And there you go. Up the rail again. Victor's on that rail there with Spencerian. A 74 by your number for the claim into the Hugh McMahon barn has done some really good work.
Yeah, came fantastic off the layoff ever since late this summer. Going over, Sea Dancer tries the dirt for the first time and wins in a stake win there in the Carousel for Brittany and Sheldon.
I don't know. This horse to me was a little hard to find, obviously, with the public too at 16-1. I guess if you trust in Brittany, right? Turf to dirt, but California to East Coast too, as well.
Yeah, I believe the dam was a half to a horse on the Kentucky Derby path. Ended up winning, I believe, the Tampa Bay Derby as well as the Pennsylvania Derby. And then I made note of this on the afternoon show that the only bullet work that filly mare has ever had in her life was on the dirt two workouts before that run yesterday. So
wow. Beat a good field. I mean, a contentious field. 85 by her number for Sea Dancer.
Film Star gets the job done in the Bob T. Manfuso for Linda Rice and Jose Lescano. Jose came in for the other ride, but popped the win here today.
Yeah, it was the star of the Buyer show yesterday with a 96, right?
Yep.
Had to really work behind speediness, who made all the pace. Film Star, the kind of horse who keeps close, as Linda Rice said beforehand. She did. Lescano tipped her there outside in the far turn on that chase, and what a duel it was down the stretch. It was very close. Film Star getting the edge in the photo finish win. Lescano Rice, 96 buyer, the highest buyer of the 4 stakes that yesterday.
I think just the grittiness against speediness. Watch out for speediness next time out. A winter horse on the rise here. But also wanted to discuss what kind of has been going on behind the scenes this whole weekend, and wanted to highlight that we are still on the Best Turned Out extravaganza here. This is the last day of it, but the Best Turned Out, of course, we have our Best Turned Out awards, but this time they receive $100 for every race instead of their usual 25. Compliments of a slew of sponsors, including 57 Strong, Aaron Greider, Act 1631, Anthony Ferrier, Blackwell Realty, BTR Racing, C6 Turf Management, Charles L. Frock, and Michael Sheffries. 5 Hellions, Farm Golden Lion Racing, Greenmount Bull, Helen Marshall International Sound, Jack Aller, Maryland Jockeys. All the Maryland jockeys pitched in for this as well. Men's Grill Racing, Northview Stallion Station, Phoebe Hayes, of course, who's running the program, and Remax Premier Selections. Richard Hackeman, Rising Sun Stables, Rob Bales, Ruben Padres, Rudy Sanchez Solomon, Shug Burtis, Veterinary House Call Service, ZWP Stable, and Nonstop Stable here for this wonderful event.
Yeah, I mean, $100, nice little Christmas bonus, and it's all weekend. It was Friday, Saturday, and again today. Thanks to our sponsors for making it happen.
And I will kick myself offset right now to go over to Dave Rodman, the guy right next to me, for some more changes and scratches here for the last day of racing before the holiday season.
Good luck.